everyone, Christy Arnett here for Card Player TV to give you guys an update on what's going on at the World Series of Poker. The only final table going on today is for event number 38, the $2,000 buy-in pot limit hold'em tournament. 9 players are left out of the 605 entrants. The chip leader is Jan Von Hale with 470,000 chips. Second in chips is Lee Watkinson. He's got 390,000. Also at that final table is Chris Bell. I had a chance to catch up with Bell just before the start of the final table. Chris, congratulations on making the final table of the $2,000 buy-in pot limit hold'em event. Tell me about your road to the final table.
It was pretty uneventful. I didn't do anything crazy. Just gradually built my stack up.
How was the field? Was it? Now I know you made the final table of the $10,000 pot limit hold'em event. Was the field weaker since the buy-in was smaller?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't as tough as that field. I mean, I think maybe we had maybe around 300 people in that tournament, and they were all. I mean, when you have a $10,000 tournament and you don't have any satellites to get into it, and everybody has to pony up 10,000, it's going to be a tough field. Mm-hmm. This one was okay. Still reasonably tough, but the final table was a pretty good mix.
Now, Lee Watkinson's at that final table. He's second in chips, and you're right in the middle of the pack at around 5th. What's going to be your strategy?
I don't know. I guess I'll just see how they start out playing. I think that the other players will kind of play a little faster. They were playing pretty slow last night on the final table bubble. But I think the pace of the play will really pick up, and people will be a lot more willing to take coin flips and stuff. But yeah, I'll just within the first few minutes of the tournament, I can kind of get a feel of how they're going to play.
Are you familiar with a lot of the players at the final table?
I know Ben Roberts. He's really short, but he's probably the best player at the table. It's really spooky how much money he's probably won, over the last few years. And I know Lee Watkinson. I hadn't played with him a lot, but a couple of my friends have played with him, and I talked with them about him last night for a few minutes. So I got a pretty good idea of some of the things that he likes to do. So as far as he's concerned, I think I should be all right. And then, we played a long time 10-handed, so, I kind of got an idea of a couple of the guys.
Well, obviously, you know what's going on in pot limit hold'em. You just made that final table, like I said before. So what makes you such a successful pot limit hold'em player, and what's the biggest difference between that and no limit?
I'll be honest, I probably just ran pretty well in these last 2 tournaments. Probably not that I'm such a great pot limit hold'em player, but you do have to play different. There's not annies out there, so when you get short, you can wait a lot longer. You can go a lot more laps because you're not having. We're playing 4 and 8,000, so it's only costing you 12,000 a round, as opposed to if you were playing annies, right. It would cost you 22,000 a round. So it's a pretty big difference. There's not as much still in front of blinds, and you don't necessarily have to defend your blind as much with weaker hands in pot limit. Yeah, I think a lot of people just don't adjust and get themselves in bad spots where they really have to gamble when they could have waited. A lot of the limit players like to put themselves in spots to where they can take people off their hands, and pot limit is probably a little bit less of that happening.
Well, internet players are known for their hyper-aggression. Do you think that they don't do as well in pot limit hold'em because they can't be shoving?
I got to ask that question before the first pot limit hold'em tournament. That's what I said. They have to play after the flop, post flop. And I'm not saying that all the internet kids can't play after the flop. I think a lot of them don't like to play after the flop. Mm-hmm. And then when pot limit, you have to make a lot more decisions. You have to make a decision on every street, and you really can't. You can't shut people out like you can in no limit. So I think that's why I don't know they adjust very well.
Great. Well, the final table is in just a few minutes, so I'll let you get out of here. But thank you so much for stopping by the studio before and on your way. Good luck today.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
First place in this event is set to receive almost $245,000 out of the $1.1 million prize pool. Stay tuned into cardplayer.com for all updates and find out who wins that bracelet. I'm Christy Arnett for Card Player TV.